All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome again for the first checkpoint of the Hack the Crisis Albania online hackathon. Hopefully, everybody had a really good sleep, at least that's some. Usually, when the team building starts and ideas starts flying, the time also flies. I got few questions during the night at 2 a.m. was one and one, I think it was and three, 3:30 or something like that. So some of you might have been working late. Again, my name is Mikko Korpela from Crazy Town, and my colleague Toni Pienonen is also online. Good morning, Toni.
Good morning, Mikko.
Did you have a good night's sleep?
And not so much. I stayed up late because we had
Okay.
quite a slackathon going on. So it was really great to see teams being formed. As yesterday's goal, one of the goals was to start building a team, especially for those who had joined as individuals, and maybe for those who had a bit of a head start, you already started identifying the focus and working on your solution. And it was really great to see all the energy going on in the Slack with all the messages being exchanged. So it was really cool to see the dialogue going on.
Yeah, I agree. The energy was really good, and there was lots of good ideas and these kind of preliminary needs also identified. So teams were already looking for certain kind of talents and skills to include into their idea. So maybe that's our first thing to say, that if you haven't checked Slack channels yet to this morning, please do so, because there is lots of good ideas and lots of different kind of emerging needs which can be fulfilled with your own talent and skills.
Yeah, you can use in the Slack also, if you want to continue a specific discussion, you can start a thread within a good comment or discussion opening, and all this content will be there. And it was also nice to see some updates in the social media, like for example, the one in the slide 4. We had teams were being built with additional team members contributing their own skills and abilities. But maybe a couple words about the matchmaking more. So in the Slack, there are especially 2 good channels. One is the matchmaking channel. There we have several teams who said that, hey, we are looking for this and this kind of a person, especially app developers, website developers, online marketing people. Those were in high demand. And I know that there were also individuals with those skills. So if you didn't find a team that we had preformed for you, if that didn't work, go through these channels. There's also app developer wanted, where specific teams are looking for people with those skills. But if you're let's say a business person like me and Mikko are, who don't actually contribute that much this kind of technical stuff, also think of yourselves from the point of view that you can also contribute knowledge on how the solution can be sustainable and have a, let's say, a good business model behind it. Or if you are a person with societal background, then I think it's really important in the sense that you can also help the team to identify partners and networks, etc.
Yes, and a couple of cool features in Slack, if the Slack channels and the whole Slack tool is unfamiliar to you, you can directly message people by using the symbol before the name, and that means that if you write a name, it comes like highlighted, like in this picture, those ones with blue lighting. So that means that it goes directly into those persons' feed. Also, you can call with the Slack. So if you find an interesting person or interesting team, you can choose them from the list and just push call button. So Slack also enables that, so it's easy to contact persons. And one more, just the last one is the thread function. So if there is a long writing on the wall or writing on those channels, you can push the thread button, and that means that you can start having a conversation on that subject only. So Slack is a really, really cool channel to get used to, and I strongly suggest everybody to join in.
Yes, and if we get the next slide, and after this, Niklas, you could put on a poll, because as yesterday's one of the goals was to find a team for everyone. So let's make a quick poll here in Zoom to see how it worked out for you guys.
Yes.
And meanwhile,
yeah, please, Tony.
And meanwhile, as Niklas puts on the poll, now you should be able to see in your Zoom environment, did you team up with your fellow hackers? So just yes, no, somewhat, what team?
And what team basically means that you have just arrived, so you don't know anything about this hackathon yet, or this is your first checkpoint. If you put that one, then I think there will be people who are still like in the process of searching info about the hackathon, etc. But most of you seem to be finding at least somewhat of the team, and that's a good information for us, because of course we want to help you teams to succeed and find like-minded people and good ideas to develop with. So seems like
as the results are coming in, I think, like, because we also gotten a couple questions, our lead mentors have gotten questions like, since we had preformed some of you together based on your shared ideas, and now you found out maybe yesterday that the team doesn't necessarily suit you, or you haven't been able to be in touch with some people and you would like to be in another team, that's absolutely fine with us. Like, the most important thing is that all of you find a team where you feel desired, where the things work. So we really hope that all of you just continue, if you still don't have a team, you continue finding a team. And if you already have a team and now see that, hey, actually we need one business person or someone with education background, please announce that, and so that these people who don't yet have a team can find you.
Yes, exactly. And so, it's all about your activity also, because I think that the teams and ideas are there. It's just about the way of finding them.
Yes. Ooh, and during now, we can end the poll.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you for your answers. And but overall, I think, like, after the morning session, at some point, we would really hope that those who have now formed a team would report your current team situation to us. One person in your team would take the responsibility of putting together the team name, team members, and which category your team works, so that we can update the team sheet with this latest information. And please send this information via Slack to me as a direct message. I will update the team sheet. So at some point in the morning.
Yes, this is good information for us, because this is the way that we can make sure that everybody is still on board. There is, as we told yesterday, over 200 people involved in this process. So we're trying to keep the strings attached, so we know that where it will be going.
And about half of you and about half of these 200 people joined as individuals without a team. So it's a nicely chaotic situation in a good way.
Yes.
Hey, about today's agenda, we briefly went through this, but we're going to, as next thing, we're going to talk to you, just give some tips about how to create a solution in a rapid way, so that you are actually responding to a real life need. And after that, we really encourage that you all make use of the mentors that we have made available. So that's the thing for this checkpoint. And in the second checkpoint of the day, we give you tips on how to build a pitch for the jury, and we also go through a couple of things that the jury members are looking for, because we've also gotten some questions about what is being evaluated, etc. So those are the things for the checkpoint number 2. But
Yes.
about today's agenda, yes, again, as a reminder, here are the tools, and I would like to, and me and Mikko would like to emphasize the mentor booking for this morning, right?
Yes, that's the ticket right now, because the mentors are available. You can find them on the mentor sheet. The address is there, and it can also be found in Slack. But please do start booking and be active towards the mentors, because we have had lots of messages from the mentors that they are available now and they want to contribute. So there is more specific info on that sheet, where you can find the way how to get in contact with the mentors, and what kind of skills and talents they also acquire. So that's something that needs to be done right away after this checkpoint.
And as a reminder, you can have several mentors and mentor sessions during these days. You don't have to use just one mentor, but the whole bunch of them. And also my thumbs up for all the mentors who have been also participating the discussion in Slack. Really, really valuable comments, I think, from everyone.
Yes. And as we cannot emphasize it too much, that's a huge opportunity for you guys, of course, to get in touch with a huge amount of talent and skills that is mentoring us during this hackathon. But now I think
also networks of those mentors, because I've been looking at their bios, and many of them are really well connected, and those networks, you should also make use of them. Yes.
Yeah, but now I think we will have to go onwards towards today's checkpoints actual kind of giveaway for you guys, and we started with a quote from Russell Acuff, and we think that this is still very, very much valid in today's problem solving and problem acquiring. How to create good and right problems, right, Tony?
Yes, you really need to. We often fail because when you are developing, a startup is developing, they fall into the trap of first falling in love with their solution without actually considering, is there a real need for this solution? They don't actually consider, is this a real problem among the customers and users? So first, before you actually go too far into your solution, test it with your customers and users to find out if the problem actually exists or not. So, how to find out if there is a need for a solution? Test, test, and test it with your other people, real life customers and users, or in this case, with mentors. And we have this interesting case story. There was this Finnish startup, Yogaya. They had an idea of a online yoga service, Finnish speaking one. Of course, there were international services like this,
yes,
but not a Finnish one.
This was also before Corona epidemic, so I think they are ahead of their time in a bit.
Yeah, and instead of they could have gone to the route of actually building an app and a website and seeing if they get customers. But how this startup did, they just put up a Facebook group and started building a community user base there, and used Facebook Live for streaming those yoga classes, Finnish speaking ones, and saw that, okay, there's actually a lot of demand for this, and the users who want this service are this and this age group, they live here and here, and they would be willing to pay this and this much for this. So, but they could have gone to the other route of building a website, building everything with huge investments to find out. But instead of that, they just tested the idea cheaply, quickly, rapidly. So I would emphasize that also for you guys, even though you might be having an idea of a huge app that does something, please test your idea, show that users would actually like to use this. Next slide, please. Mikko.
Yes, yeah. As we talked, the great place to test it is with your mentors and other participants. And the first stage of testing is trying to sell the ideas, trying to sell the need to somebody else, so you can get some responses and some maybe critical feedback also, and tough questions. Is this a real life need that you're planning on to? And I think this similar process, like this kind of testing process, can be seen also elsewhere. And we found a typical a good example from you from the States. So
Yeah.
Niklas, can you please?
So,
Yes.
how many here knows the TV show Mythbusters? You should have the opportunity to raise hand in Slack. For those, yeah, come several hand raises there. So it's a show where these two guys test myths, popular myths, whether they are real or not. And it always starts with the fact that they make an assumption about the myth. Could this actually work in real life? And they have this kind of a laboratory, a bit like the place where I'm right now here, where they do small scale experiments at the lab and usually fail miserably. Then they just rework those tests again, repeat and repeat and repeat. Only after they know, for example, that in this example, they have this kind of a trebuchet, medieval trebuchet, and how it works. Only after they know for the fact that this actually works, the, by building it first small, they go into the real world and build a massive real life sized experiment out of that. So, yeah. And again, one Finnish university got this Jamie Heinemann as an honorary doctor to a Finnish university. And you guys do know how that happened? How was this possible? What did the university in Finland have to do to get him on board? You can also guess in the chat. But I'm going to answer the question for you guys already. They asked him. That was all it needed. And again, if you're wondering, is there a solution for for our community app or service? Go ahead and test it with other people.
Yes, and this can also be shown in a theoretical, more science-based view also. But the first question is that is there a need for this, and can the next it goes on with time. So the next stage is, can we do this in practice, and if we can we make a business out of this, and is this a sustainable business model? So basically, these Mythbuster guys are doing that in action, but they are actually testing myths if they are true or not.
Yeah,
But this is from a Finnish innovation scientist called Anssi Tuulenmäki, and we think that this is the thing that we're doing here, this phase in the hackathon.
Yeah, so basically these two phases, because we've also been asked if the solutions at the hackathon, do they need to be sustainable in the long run? Do they need to be something that can be continuously updated? Well, of course, you need to have a lot of realism in your idea.
Mm-hmm.
So consider in your solution, how can this solution be sustained? Who is paying for it? Of course, it doesn't need to be the user. Let's say if you're making a service that connects pupils and teachers, of course the pupil, the school kid, isn't necessarily the one paying for it. It might be the school, it might be the municipality, it might be the government, it might be the an international donor aid organization that is paying for it. But first, you also need to understand if there is actual need among the users for this solution. So I'll take all this into consideration. But I think for the purpose of the hackathon, the most important things that you need to focus is these first two stages.
Yeah, basically the thing is that we of course encourage you to do this kind of testing and be active and proactive with your ideas. But of course, think big, but take these small steps, because that's the way that you learn the most fastest. Learn fast about your ideas, that are they eligible or not. And okay, because we have now almost 200 people on board in this hackathon, I think it's really, we have many different kind of platforms to test early these kind of assumptions and ideas that you have. So gather feedback. That's our advice to you guys.
Yes, and when you are creating this awesome new solution, you might have this idea that, hey, it's going to have all these elements in it. Next slide, please. So if you want, let's say your desire, you want to make people move faster. And your idea is that we want to build them a car. But of course, you can't, as a startup on an idea stage team, you don't necessarily have the resources to build a car yet. So thing is, give your users, do one or two things really well so that they make the user love your product. Don't try like to take this kind of a huge idea at first. Rather do it in small steps. So if you want to make someone move faster and give him or her this kind of happy experiences out of that, give that person first a skateboard, then a bicycle, then a scooter, then the car. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, this is an analogy for creating these kind of minimum viable products.
So do one or two good things right with your product, then you can go ahead. So practical things for you to consider now. Of course, one is to send us your updated team information, but then now as you go and start working really on your solution, again, consider and identify the need that you are solving and create problem awareness around the need, because that's a really nice way to also tell about your solution for the jury members.
Yes, for example, if you are creating a need, for example, let's say unemployment, then it might be good to have, for example, the unemployment rates of a certain area or a city, so you can actually prove that you have a problem at your hand, you have a need at your hand. Or if you are creating a new platform, then you might have to have data or some kind of information that these similar platforms doesn't exist, or the platforms that do exist doesn't do these kind of right things that this platform of yours will do in the future. Mm-hmm. So you need to have this kind of data and background to really back your ideas and needs up. As I said before, you need to sell the need, you need to sell the idea to other people around you.
Yes. And then identify also who are the key users or customers for your solution. What are their top problems? What kind of benefits they value in your solution? So think it from the point of view of the customer or the user, who is most important for you. And please don't, when you are creating the pitch and your solution, don't be too broad and general. Be as specific as you can, because it makes it far more realistic for the jury members to consider. And finally, make your ideas tangible. Start making, whether it's a website, whether it's a prototype app for something, make a presentation, anything that helps to show how the solution looks like and feels like, and test your ideas and approaches with these mentors, and if possible with real life users and customers. You probably have
last time we did a hackathon, there was a team in Albania who made a survey, and they did an interview for over 80 students of their target group inside the 24 hours or 48 hours that they have. So they got really fresh data out from the users, that how do they see certain issues and certain problems that this team had. So use these kind of testing methods that you can actually do for the let's say 24 hours.
Yes. And go into the no need to show this. So go into the mentor matchmaking sheet. Please find your we encourage you to be active, find the mentors that might be of assistance for you. Of course, Arlind and Sarah will help you out too also in this process, but it's really up to you to get in touch with the mentors. In each of the mentors, there's their preferred contact method. They know to expect your contact. So don't hesitate to be in touch with them when you have booked the time using the channel they have specified. They know to expect you, your call or Slack call or phone call or Skype call or whatnot.
Yes. So the next time that we will be gathering around here is 5 o'clock, the next checkpoint. But to sum up this checkpoint, maybe we go through the 3 most important things, right, Tony?
Yes. So as next thing, identify the need, what you are solving, identify who is the key user or customer for your solution, start making your ideas tangible if you haven't yet started that, start testing. Those are really basic stuff. And of course, as we said in the beginning, please also report your current team situation to us. Team name, team members, and which category you would like to belong to. Send this information via Slack to me, and we will update the team sheet accordingly.
Yes. And please use also the hashtag #HackTheCrisisAlbania to record your working moments. You can take video, you can take photos, whatever, so we can see your progress also in the social media, and we can get this kind of movement ongoing inside Albania and the whole rest of the world.
Yeah, and there's a couple of questions. There's at least one question in the Q&A. Yeah, hello to you as well. Thank you for the question. It's about the thing that how is the pitch and solution delivered on Sunday? Yes, we're going to go through this in detail in the next checkpoint. But on Sunday, all teams that can be considered eligible for the jury, you need to deliver a 3-minute pitch video of your solution. It's up to you to decide how you film it, whether you record it somewhere, whether you just use your mobile phone to show the solution in practice. It's really up to you how you do that, a 3-minute video. And alongside that, a description. And we will there are certain requirements in the idea description. We want to have, it's in the participant guide. There's a couple of things that should be in the idea description. First is the need. So tell in the idea description what exactly is the need you are solving and whose need it is. Also, give a short description of what is the impact of your solution. So a one-liner, so to help it easy to understand, and then a longer description of what your solution does, how it can be implemented, and of course, any kinds of photos, links to whatever you are creating. If it's a website, please attach the link there. If it's some kind of an app you are developing, please give us link to the prototype app if you have one, or photos of mock-ups, anything that makes it more tangible.
And we will go more in detail into that for the next checkpoint, so don't worry about it. But those are the key points. We also got a question also for that, if it's okay to choose to be a one-member team. And as we said yesterday, yes, it's okay to be a one-member team as well. The of course main thing is that we get as many solutions as we can out of this hackathon. But if you feel like that you have a strong idea and you don't need any other team members at the moment, you can also be a one-member team.
Yes, exactly. So I guess if you are a one-person team, I would emphasize that you also in your solution description, you can make a strong argument and case how your solution can be implemented, even though if it's just one person at this stage. So just defend this argument. Any other questions? I guess
you can write some questions in the Q&A button in your
or in the
lower
chat
screen or in the chat. Both are accepted. And also we can continue answering your questions and start embracing your matchmaking in the Slack environment. So no worries about this if you don't have a question right at this moment, because for the next 5.5 hours, we'll let you guys. Yeah, that's 4.5. We will let you guys continue working, because now it's the time to actually really go more deep into it.
Does the presentation/pitch need to be in Albanian or English? In the jury, there are at least two non-Albanian people. So of course, I think like in this case, you should, if you feel that the English is not your preference or makes it harder for you to present your case, you can use Albanian, but at least in some of the materials. But at least please use, in some cases at least, English, so that we can evaluate the case. And another question, if my two other members can't join the webinars, but they are working with me, is that a problem? It's not a problem. Of course, like you can, like the most important thing is that there's just at least one person in your team who gets the information and can then help others.
Yes. Okay. But I think now we have set enough at this checkpoint. Let's continue, send out the team names to Tony, and we'll update the team chart so we know that how many people are still on board.
One more question. Can the pitch be
given?
Always one more. Can the pitch be given by one person and not the whole team? Yes, we'll go through this also in the other checkpoint, but it's up to you to decide how many people pitch, whether it's one person or the whole team. Whatever makes it best for you to present the case.
Excellent.
We will make the presentation available for everyone, so you will get the slides, etc. And the submissions are needed to be sent tomorrow afternoon. Please consult the participant guide. There are all the deadlines.
Okay, I think that's a wrap then. Now we let you guys do it. See you in the afternoon.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Good luck.